What's up, guys? We're back.
What's cracking?
It's been one rough morning. Dude, I'm out of it. You guys are if you saw last week's episode and you saw my UFC take, that's about to be this entire episode, dude. I'm out of it. Which, I mean, I guess I didn't even think about that. But we can lead off with that here in a minute. But yeah, we'll go back through last week's picks, NFL picks. We're doing pretty even with each other right now. I think we're tied, except for, I can't get my locks down, but other than that, I'm doing all right. NBA Finals not off to a great start for Heat fans. They basically lost half of their starting lineup last night to injury, got blown out. Baseball, I'm going to dive deep into some baseball today. There was some good games yesterday. Some absolutely horrendous batting. Not to point fingers, but Cincinnati, come on. I picked you early in the year. I'm trying to ride that wave a little bit. Yeah, and then hockey's over. Tampa Bay Lightning won it in 6. They beat the Dallas Stars.
Someone called that on New Year's Day. I'm not gonna name names, but someone did call it.
Yeah, I don't know. Some genius is what I heard. He's like an oracle. He got it. So I missed about everything else. But yeah, what a week. This is the most exciting weekend in sports we've had in a long time. We've got Saturday, we had LSU go down to Mississippi State. Mississippi State's quarterback, KJ Costello, he transferred over from Stanford, and they also brought in Mike Leach, I believe. So, air raid offense, they came out there, broke the SEC single-game passing record with like 600-something yards.
Yeah.
Blew the brakes off LSU. LSU didn't have their number one corner, which sucked. Derek Stingley would have been, if he was draft eligible as a true freshman, he probably would have been a top 15 pick. And he ended up having like a allergic reaction or something before the game, couldn't play. Mississippi State took advantage. Then over there in the Big 12, we got Oklahoma coming out looking on fire. It's like 35-7 at some point, I think. They just shit the bed. Kansas State comes back, beats them for the second year in a row. Absolutely pitiful. That killed my bet for the week, so that was super fun. I really appreciate it. Spencer Rattler got a lot of heat. I don't think it was his fault, but this week we got more SEC football. I don't know who's on the slate, but we're still 3 weeks away from the Big Ten and the best team in college football taking the field again. So,
yeah, man, I can't wait for Maryland to get out there and really start causing damage.
Yeah, that's it.
You're telling me IU's got a chance to win the Natty this year?
No, actually, IU just lost their safety Marcelino Baldus towards ACL in practice. So
God, there goes my whole ticket.
I think he's a redshirt senior, maybe.
Oh, my, dude. Now my bracket's busted.
But, hey, on week 2 of the Big Ten season, Halloween night, we got Penn State, Ohio State. That's going to be a game. It'll suck not having fans because I wanted to see what they're going to do if it's going to be a whiteout, blackout, whatever they want to mix it up with.
Yeah. Could do orange out for Halloween, you know what I mean?
Nah, they won't. Who's orange? Who's going to rock orange?
Well, 364 days of the year, I get it. But on that one,
it's spooky season.
It is spooky season.
Let's see, Big Ten. I think Ohio State wins that easily, but whatever. I guess we'll just get to that when it gets here. We still got a ways to go. College football's just a mess right now. I don't know who's in the top 5 anymore. Plus, you can't really tell because they took everybody from the Big Ten and the Pac-12 out because they're not playing yet. So we got a ways to go, but let's talk Saturday night UFC, right?
Yeah, UFC 253. Israel Adesanya, Paulo Costa, the middleweight championship of the world. If I recall correctly, I haven't went back and seen my prediction. I think I took Paulo Costa to win this one. Boy, how wrong I was. Holy cow.
Yes, sir.
That was different. Israel said after the fight, y'all must have forgot. Yeah, I sure did. That was as one-sided as the title fight gets.
So I paid the whatever dollars for the fight,
Yeah,
like one does,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I watched the first 4 fights on the card. Didn't really pay attention to them, but I had them on while I was watching football. And then next thing I know, it hurts Buffer when Adesanya comes out. I'm like, I swear if I get gypped out of this super legal stream, I'm gonna be pissed. But it comes back, thankfully. It gets back, and I mean, it was just what, like 7.5 minutes of just leg kicks.
Yeah, those leg kicks were brutal. I mean, like you could tell, like a minute and a half in, like Costa just. I wouldn't say he didn't have a chance after a minute and a half, but like the odds of him winning went down significantly after like the fourth or fifth leg kick, because like the beauty of those leg kicks is that they all land in the same spot, right? And so
Yeah.
once you deaden that nerve that runs down the leg, like it doesn't matter what you do, your body just doesn't physically respond. And boy, Costa just had a hard time moving. I just it's weird because in like all of his previous fights, like you could see it in his Romero fight back when he fought like Johnny Hendricks, like the guy like puts a lot of pressure on you. He throws a lot of offense and stuff like that. The guy just looks so timid when he went in there against Adesanya. I mean, the guy talked a whole lot of shit the whole week, throwing the white belt at him at the weigh-ins. Just really, I mean, it kind of looked effective, but then once the door closed, man, you do that on the streets, you get a felonious assault charge. Like that was as one-sided as it gets in a title fight. I mean, that was a style bender. He keeps getting better, and Romero earlier this year, it was I mean, a strategic fight. He did what he had to do to win, but he didn't really showcase anything. He showcased a lot Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive, like, just seeing how quick he can throw 2 kicks.
Yep.
I mean, it's just, you shouldn't be able to move that fast.
Mm-hmm.
I get why Costa was getting hit, because you don't see. He swings that right foot and he taps it and brings it right back. I'm like, dude, I can't even think about doing that. I get tired just imagining trying to pull that off.
Yeah.
He's lacing them with these kicks. His legs all battered by middle of the first round. Then he lands. I think what Costa goes after him there in the second,
Mm-hmm.
and Adesanya lands a nice little a left hook, caught him right on the eye.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then, I mean, it's basically that was over at that point, and then
Yeah.
he
Well,
kinda
it was funny because
put it
like I
away.
saw something. It was like Costa's face at the beginning of round one compared to the beginning of round two. Like you could tell once he came out for round two that he he looked like he knew what the result was going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's an unspoken agreement in fighting. There's an agreement that I will stop trying to win as long as you stop trying to hurt me. And Costa tried to he tried to play that card, and Adesanya just gave him the double bird salute, just boom, boom, boom. And yeah, I was shocked, man. I was shocked. I thought Costa was going to offer a lot more than he did. The problem now is who's Adesanya going to face in that division? I mean, he has beaten Robert
Yeah.
Whitaker, Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa. I mean, you could face Jared Cannonier if he beats Robert Whitaker, but like, who else are you going to fight in that division? The problem is that he's starting to get into a territory that like Georgia St. Pierre was in, Mighty Mouse, John. He's starting to clear that division out. And so
Yeah.
unless you're going to face all these people a second time, they're what are you gonna do? I mean, Mighty Mouse fought everyone at flyweight a second time, and he was so much better that they thought about closing the whole division. Well, obviously they're not gonna do that with 185, but like, I think really the move is he should go to 205. And speaking
Yeah.
of 205, Jan Blachowicz shocking the world on Saturday night, beating Dominic Reyes for the light heavyweight title. I mean, between you and I think Israel Adesanya would beat Jan Blachowicz. I mean, the guy's just Israel is not a small 185er. He's not a
No.
170 who moved up to 185. He is a 185 who could move up to 205.
Yeah.
Like the guy is just crazy, outstandingly good on his feet.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't. It sucked because I don't even know what football game I was watching, but I caught a little bit of that Plahovic. I don't know. I'm not even gonna say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that was close. That was really good.
I watched a little bit of that one on and off. I had the sound on from it, so I could hear when there was anything big that happened. But yeah, I don't know. I think Adesanya, his fight was just so. I didn't think it was gonna be that quick, right? Because we saw his last fight was.
Yep.
It was. I mean, it was boring.
Sure.
And he got the job done, but it was boring. And then you come out, and I was like, maybe we're going to see the same thing this week. And then after the fight, Costa's out here pulling out all this bullshit about, oh, something happened before the fight, and you know it, and I want my rematch. Dude, take your L. Get
Yeah.
out of there.
Yeah.
We get it, bro. I hate
I mean,
that shit.
The thing is that anytime someone pulls that, oh, something happened, I wasn't 100%, I'll be 100% for the rematch. It's like, okay, what happened?
Yeah, you
Don't
got
say,
to
don't,
say
I'll
it
tell you
before
what,
the fight. Say,
yeah,
hey, just so you know, if I lose, this is why. Even though
like,
it sounds like a bitch move, don't just wait till you lose to say it. Because if you win, you're not going to say it.
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you what happened. You got your ass beat for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Like, you were 100% when the bell rang and you left a lot less than 100%. I will give you that. I will give you that 100 days of the week. I mean, it's like earlier this year when Deontay Wilder fought Tyson Fury. Guy goes in there and he's like, oh, I'm going to end Tyson Fury. And then it was like, after the fight, he's like, oh, it was this 40-pound costume I wore to the ring. It was like, so you're telling me backstage when you're warming up and you're wearing 40 extra pounds, you're like, hey, maybe this ain't a great idea. I'm going to wear it out to the ring again. It's like, what these people, man, just
Just take your L. If you want to do a rematch, do a rematch. But you got to take your L's when you get them, man.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think they can. I don't think they can do. I mean, why would you do a rematch of a fight that was so one-sided? I mean, what else is there to see? I mean,
Right.
I mean, for Adesanya, there's nothing to gain, really. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you gonna do? Beat the guy in 3 minutes instead of 7? You're gonna throw 30 leg kicks instead of 12? Like, what else do you want him to do?
There's no way that Adesanya can improve or prove anything, or he doesn't do himself any favors. Because if he wins, well, yeah, you're expected to win. If you lose, well, you should have won that fight. Now you lost.
yeah, and it's like it's not like a Masvidal versus Askren or a McGregor versus Aldo where it was like the first strike in, the fight's over. You know what I mean? It was like this was 100 strikes or so, one-sided affair. You know what I mean? Like I don't need to see any more of it. I know
Yeah.
what the result's gonna be.
Yeah.
Paulo Costa is a good fighter. He might be the second best middleweight on the planet. But the problem is that the guy who's number 1 is so much better than him that I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it. I need to see Israel move up to 205. I need to see him fight Jan Blachowicz. Blachowicz has some competition there at 205 if he's really interested in it. Really, there's a fight at 185 if you want to make it. Khamzat Chimaev, dude's won 3 fights in the last 8 weeks. He's only taken 2 strikes total. I mean, three entire fights, you only get hit twice. That's a pretty good ratio, if you ask me. The guy's got to fight at 170 with Damian Maia here next month. I mean, I'm not opposed to seeing Khamzat versus Israel if Chimaev gets past Damian Maia. But man, I tell you, Israel, there's one fight now that's really interesting, and it's John Jones versus Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
Of course, the fight's got to happen at 205, but John's, he's on this heavyweight. It just fantasy. The problem at heavyweight is that he wants either Miocic or Ngannou, and those two are going to fight each other, and they don't have a date set. And so, are you willing to set out another 6 to 8 months before fighting? He's talked about going back down to 205 and fighting Jan Blachowicz. Why would you go fight for a title that you just vacated?
Yeah.
Why? Just would have defended the belt if you wanted that belt. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty simple. Israel, why would you want to go up to 205 to fight John Jones without a title on the line? What is there to gain for you? You know, it's like, oh, you beat John Jones in a non-title bout.
Yeah.
Okay. John Jones, he had to use the juice, supposedly, had to use the juice to get down to 205. He can't make 185.
There's no way.
Absolutely no way. So I don't know. A lot of interesting stuff going on. This month we got the big card. Justin Gaethje, Habib Nurmagomedov. That's going to be a big fight later this month. Got some other big fights on the card this year. I think we got Usman versus Burns later this year. I forget who's on the November card. It doesn't really matter. A lot of good stuff all around. So
I know we've got the Holly Holm fight in 3 weeks, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, UFC's been, it's been good all year because it's the only thing that's been on TV.
Sure.
And now we're actually getting the good fights. So, a lot to look forward to. If you're a UFC fan, obviously you're going to be excited. If you're not, you might want to tune in because I've said it 1,000 times on here. I was never really a big UFC guy. Started watching them probably 2 years ago. And man, like every time I can watch them, I try to watch because it's an exciting sport. I mean,
sure is.
It is gross at times, but
yeah,
ain't nothing wrong with the gashed eyebrow a little bit.
Totally get it. So moving on to, I guess we can talk about the finals. Really, because there's not that much to talk about. This series is over.
Yeah, it does not look good.
This series is. If this series doesn't end by what would it be? Tuesday, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, last night, Game 1, Heat Lakers. Heat came out, looked good early.
Yeah, it was like 23-10 or something like that, right off.
Yeah, I mean, they looked great. I thought they were, thought they had a fighting chance. Adebayo out with the shoulder. Dragic out with the plantar tear. Jimmy Butler looked like he tweaked his something late. This series, put a bow on it. It's a wrap.
As soon as Butler goes down, that game was over. I mean, he was hobbled. He still played, but it was over.
Well, honestly, the game was over before he got put in. Let's be clear. The series was over when he started hobbling. You know what I mean? My interest in the finals now has dropped to minuscule levels because it's nothing but a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
There is nothing the Heat could do tomorrow night in Game 2 that would convince me that they have a chance to beat the Lakers in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
And it really sucks because if you look at like the Heat, they came out great story. They were the 5 seed in the East.
Yeah, it came out looking good too.
And they beat the Pacers, who had injuries. They end up going and playing Milwaukee, who had injuries. They play Boston, who was healthy, and they pulled it off. And now they're dealing with injuries of their own. Yeah. Dragic was a remarkable story. He exploded in the bubble. He was one of the best players, like one of the most reliable players of any team, really, in the bubble. Tearing your plantar probably doesn't feel great. Plantar fasciitis sucks. Tearing that probably doesn't feel great at all. Yeah. It looks like his series is over. I wouldn't be surprised if Butler misses time. I don't think he will just because, that's the competitor in him.
Sure.
But, it's just, that's not great at all. Los Angeles is just going to run right through them. It should be 4, might be 5 if Tyler Hero gets lucky and puts up a 30 bomb, but I don't see that happening.
Well, and even if he does put up another 30 bomb, the thing is now, LeBron's probably going to be guarding him when he's on the floor, right? And you're just unless you're Curry hitting nothing but 40-footers the whole night, you're not getting 30 on LeBron. I don't see it happening, not at this stage. Anthony Davis, you got him as well. You got Dwight Howard, who's been he's been decently good in the bubble here for the last couple series at least. Rajon Rondo's looked good. They got pieces coming off the bench that have looked good. So, this series is a wrap. I don't think there's anything more to talk about. Congrats to the Lakers. By the time we do this podcast next week, they should be champions.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame because I think this series had a lot of potential. I thought the Heat they pulled off a lot of upsets to get here, and I think a lot of people gave them a puncher's chance. But the funny thing about a puncher's chance means inherently you're not the favorite. They don't say the favorites have punching chances.
Yeah.
And now it just looks like it looks like it's just going to be a 4-game wrap. We will see you in January. Speaking of championships being handed out, the Tampa Bay Lightning, like you mentioned, dispatching the Dallas Stars Game 6 of the Stanley Cup. First off, the Stanley Cup, the most awesome trophy in all of sports, right? Has to be. I mean, 100 years of history. It's just the greatest looking trophy in sports. The Lightning looked like the better team, like for the majority of that series. Game 6, they win 2-0. Victor Hedman wins the Conn Smythe. The way the NHL did the playoffs this year, I personally loved it. I wish they would stay with that format moving forward. I love the 2014 format. Absolutely loved it. You saw Montreal beat Pittsburgh. You saw Chicago beat Edmonton. There was a couple upset. I mean, obviously, I didn't like Toronto getting dispatched in the qualifiers, but it was so awesome. The whole
exciting.
It's super exciting. Like that qualifier series when you had hockey on from 11 to midnight every day. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And if they were to do that with fans in the stands, oh man, this would have been a hit. Would have been a hit. The Stanley Cup playoffs is the toughest playoffs in all of sports, just because of how much parity there is. You run into a hot goaltender on any given night. That could be your season. That's partly the reason why Vegas didn't make it to the finals, is because Dobby for Dallas just killed him. Just absolutely killed him. I hope they stick with this. Hockey, great job. Absolutely.
They handled it very well, especially having 2 sites, not really having any outbreaks either. I mean,
sure.
Top to bottom, they did a great job. They kept it exciting. I mean, it started in, August?
Yeah.
And then, it was 2 months of just insane hockey.
Just super. And it was like, the one thing I like about these bubbles, right? And hockey doesn't do this anyway, but for basketball, I like it. Like, you don't have these weird 2 or 3 days off in between games. Yeah. It's just game off day, game off day, game. And so it's like the momentum just was there the whole time.
I mean, we saw that in the Boston series against Miami. They did take that extra 2 days off, and it killed Boston's momentum. They won game, 5?
Game 5,
and then got screwed, had to play a late game 6, and it cost them. So
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if that happens moving forward. I mean, that's how baseball's always done it, but then again, they always just have one off day anyway.
But I usually hate the NBA playoffs because it's like you take these 2 series and you drag it out for 8 weeks when really you could do it in 6.
Yeah.
And it was like this was great. This was absolutely great. I mean, I've liked the basketball playoffs too so far. I mean, even whenever the first started, just everything's just been so quick. Been a lot of momentum. I hope they consider the formats moving forward. But moving to another playoffs, one that we actually don't know the winner or who it's going to be. Baseball. I know you have a lot to say about this, so I'm just going to give you the floor here for the next however many minutes. Chicago versus Miami. When I looked at the bracket, I thought Chicago, it couldn't have been set up any better for them. They got Miami in the quarters. They would have Cincinnati and Atlanta in the semis. Then they would play, whoever falls on the other side of the bracket in the NLCS. I was like, man, Chicago won this sweepstakes. And boy, how wrong I was.
Well, it was off. I mean, if you guys saw my rant last week, just strap in, all right? So, all right. First of all, I do want to mention the Dodgers series. Brewers' best player is now out, which is, I think his name's Devin Miller or something like that. Relief pitcher, he's out. And I'll get to the Braves and the Reds here in a minute. That was a phenomenal game 1 yesterday.
Absolutely crazy game.
But who's already advanced? The Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay, they beat Tampa.
Jays.
The Blue Jays in 2. Yeah.
Yankees have moved on.
Yeah, beat the Indians in 2 last night. Great game last night between New York and Cleveland. Coming down to the 9th inning there, just absolutely great. Houston and
Houston advanced. They beat the Twins.
Yep.
So only one American League Series is going 3.
Yep.
Which
White
is
Sox
White Sox
Athletics.
A's.
Yeah,
Which,
later today.
is it today?
Yep, later today.
So I know the game 1, White Sox took a perfect game into the 6th or the 7th.
It was 7th, yeah.
And then came out game 2 and got Dallas Keuchel got ran right off the mound, I believe. I think he was down like 5 or 6-0. National League side, they've only played for a day. Let's see.
Bunch of game 2s today. You got
Atlanta's up 1-0.
Atlanta's up 1-0. Los Angeles is up 1-0. Miami's up 1-0. And then St. Louis is up 1-0.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That was a surprising game, too.
That's what I thought, too.
But, yeah, so the Cubs game, it was a pitching battle going in. It was a good one. Kyle Hendricks out there. Never been a guy to go out there and he's not going to throw heat, right? He's going to go out there. He's going to pitch to contact. You're not going to hit the ball often, but if you do hit it, you're probably hitting it hard. That's been the issue for him all year, is just a long ball.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to a point, game 1 yesterday, and this game took forever, too. It was pissing me off. But,
I mean, this game, I think it's the 6th inning, Ian Happ hits the opposite field home run. Cubs go up 1-0. Things are looking good. It might have been the 5th inning. Hendrick comes out in the 6th, gets the job done. He's up to, I believe he's at 89 pitches or something like that, maybe 95 going into the 7th. This is where the issue is with Kyle Hendricks. If he wears out because he doesn't typically have to throw a lot because he gets guys.
Mm-hmm.
We're going into the 7th inning. He's in the mid-90s. He gets up to 105 pitches and has 2 guys on base. And David Ross has done this all year. He doesn't pull his guy when he should. And he's got Jeremy Jeffress warming up in the bullpen, who's been their best reliever all year. That makes sense. You get your guy ready. Hendricks gives up back-to-back hits in the 7th. 2 guys on. I think there's just 1 out, and he's up over 100 pitches, which he hardly ever gets to. And all year when he's reached 100 pitches, he's fallen off a cliff because, that's just a lot on the body, right? If you're throwing out 100 balls, yeah, you're going to be susceptible to big plays, right? No mound visit. I might have been a mound visit. They keep Hendricks in. Next thing you know, Corey Dickerson 3-run home run to left center. It's 3-1. Then they pull Hendricks. Jeffress comes in. He gives up a 2-run shot to, I believe it was Aguilar. It's 5-1. Blink of an eye, Cubs are down 4. Their offense couldn't get rolling. And David Ross, because, it's his first year managing, I get that. He's going to have some learning curve and stuff like that. They're up 1-0 in the 7th inning. Maybe even in the 6th inning, he makes this change. He pulls out his outfield to put in his defensive unit in a 1-0 ball game. So Kyle Schwarber's out. He's arguably the hottest bat in the lineup right now. They put in Billy Hamilton. Well, now you're down 5-1 and you don't have your best bat in the lineup, and you have to pinch hit for Billy Hamilton in I think it's the 8th inning. Well, now you don't have any offense. You have no bench depth, and you're facing a 1-0 deficit in the series. That's what happens. Marlins, good story this year. I don't think they've ever made the playoffs and not won the World Series. So they're hoping to do that again.
That's a pretty good stat.
Yeah, and they get out there. They've had like 61 guys play this year, which is almost an MLB record. I think the record's 67, and that was in a full season. They did that in almost a third of the time. Only 5 guys were on the Major League roster all year without being put on the IL or anything like that. They were active. And they came out. Don Mattingly knows what he's doing. He's been there. He's done that. They took advantage. They got the win. Now, it will be interesting because they had Sandy Alcantara pitch yesterday. He's their ace. I believe they would have Jose Urania start today, but he is out. He broke his arm on a line drive last week. Brutal news for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who their pitching matchup's going to be. I'll actually check that real quick. But I know for the Cubs today, we've got Yu Darvish on the mound. Don't know why he didn't start game 1, if I'm being honest.
Honestly, like Darvish, I mean, he's a Cy Young candidate. Like,
Yeah,
why?
I don't know why they gave. I mean, Hendricks has been better in the playoffs in his career, but
Sure.
Darvish, I mean, Darvish is what 7-2 this year with like a 2.6 ERA or something.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, he's been
pretty good.
I mean, I think him and Trevor Bauer basically have every statistical category in the league and pitching except for DeGrom's strikeout rate. But you get out there and now you're facing elimination. The weather yesterday was a big factor. It was like 30-mile-an-hour winds and raining. Hendricks was losing a little bit of control. I know he hit a batter and he walked 2 at least. That's 3 free bases. He doesn't do that. He gave up, I think, 8 walks on the season coming in. Gave up basically 3 of those in one game. And it's not great, but I mean, it happens. It's not his fault. He should have come out earlier. That's on David Ross. Hopefully he learns that going into next year. But today it looks like Marlins are pitching Sixto Sanchez. I don't know if I'm saying that name right, by the way. It looks like Sixto, but I could be completely wrong. He's a hard throw. I think he throws up near 100. So another tough one for the Cubs. But I think they can win today. It just comes down to can Lester get them back on track tomorrow. Lester's been their guy. He's obviously the guy with the experience in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I just don't trust him because he's been so off and on this year. He's either going to go out there and throw 7 innings of 2-hit baseball, or he's going to go out there and give up 6 runs by the second inning and get run off the mound, be at 70 pitches, and they have to go to their bullpen early.
Yeah.
Luckily for the Cubs, they do have plenty of starting arms in their bullpen. They've got Jose Quintana, who can give them plenty of innings.
Well, I was going to say, and really, it doesn't really matter. I think tomorrow, if you get to that point where it's 1-1, everyone but Darvish would be available in that bullpen. I think Kyle Hendricks would come out and give you, like, if you had 2 on in the 7th with 2 outs, I think he would come out and give you that batter. You know what I mean?
Which, I mean, we'll see what happens. I think you've got to – I understand, like, yeah, you're not going to be fresh, and it might not be the best move. But if your season's on the line and Hendricks wants to go out there and pitch, even if Darvish wants to go pitch to save the season, you've got to give him the ball. Those are your dude. I'm not giving the ball to Craig Kimbrell in a season-saving situation. But that's what David Ross is going to do. It sucks because the Cubs bullpen is so inconsistent. Actually, take that back. They're so consistently bad to where you just can't trust You can't trust a single guy in that bullpen right now. Up until probably 3 weeks ago, I would say Jeremy Jeffress is going to get the ball 10 times out of 10 in a big game. Right now, I don't trust him either. And if I have to give the ball to anybody, I'm giving it to Adbert Alzolay, who's like 21 years old.
Yep.
Or I'm going to give it to the kid that they just bought up, Braylon Marquez. He's like 19 or 20. He made his debut in the final game of the season. He's out here throwing 100 miles an hour but walking 15 batters. I'm just giving him the ball and saying, hey, try to hit him because we don't have it. Like, I'd rather lose on this kid and see what he's got because he can throw heat and he's got a pretty nice changeup. I'm not going to go out there and say, hey, you're probably going to hit three straight nuke shots on Kimbrell because, hey, he's the veteran. We're going to trust him. I just don't know what to expect from them. It's going to suck, but it's all good because next year they're going to have Trevor Bauer in their rotation. So, but I will say,
speaking of Trevor Bauer, man, that game,
yeah, dude,
crazy, absolutely crazy.
Cincinnati at Atlanta. That was that was 2 teams that I said had a shot to win the series coming into the year. I said yesterday it was going to be the best series in baseball, at least in this round. Boy, a lot of people don't like pitching duels, and I get it. It comes across as boring. No,
not at all.
This game going into the 13th inning, it's 0-0. Braves have 2 hits.
Like, when was the last time you saw a 12-inning scoreless Broadway in baseball? No. You don't see games go scoreless into the 7th nowadays.
No. And it was nice because when we get to extras, they don't have They don't have that runner on second base anymore. That was just
Oh,
a regular
really?
season thing, so it was
Let's
just.
go.
But I mean, Trevor Bauer shoved, right? Best pitcher in baseball right now. He goes out there, I think it was 7 1/3, 12 strikeouts, no walks,
Yeah.
dominating this lineup. He's had like 103 pitches. He can't get run support to save his life.
Sure.
Max Fried on the other side, he comes out there, he shoves, he goes deep, no runs allowed, no
Yep.
run support. Tie game. We get going. We get to like I think it's the 10th inning. Reds load the bases, nothing. Like they load the bases with nobody out, I believe, or at least runners on the corners with nobody out. Don't score.
Yep.
Braves, boom, 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 nothing. Reds come out the 11th, couple guys on, nothing. Braves, nothing doing in the bottom half. Reds come out, load the bases, no outs again in the 12th, nothing.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, you've got 11 hits and nobody scored. You've got to start putting guys on. You got to get somebody across, dude. You just put the ball in play. They tried laying down a bunt, couldn't get the bunt down. They tried hacking away, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
They start striking everybody out. I believe the Braves struck out 21 times and won that game. Like Reds, I think loaded the bases in 3 of the 4 extra innings, couldn't score. Like, dude, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, you got to play situational baseball. You got to push something across. I mean, if you leave, how many runners did they leave on base yesterday? Had to be 15, maybe.
At least, yeah. Hang on. It was a pitiful performance.
You got to find a way to push across a run. Like, it's funny how baseball works. I've never seen a baseball game won where the winning team scores 0 runs. I've never seen it. You know what I mean? Have you ever seen it?
No.
I was about to say, I think every team who's ever won a baseball game, the one thing they have in common is that their score line did not read 0 runs.
That's a very valid point. I mean, I don't know if you can score negative runs, so that's going to help your case.
So I don't know. That game yesterday was super fun.
Archie Bradley took the loss in his first playoff game with the Reds. He was traded for at the deadline. I mean, the Reds had Bauer pitched 7 2/3, had 12 strikeouts. Raisel Iglesias comes in, finishes off regulation. He's got 4 strikeouts. Michael Lorenzen pitches late. He gets 4 strikeouts in 2 innings.
Yeah.
I mean, phenomenal performance, man. And they couldn't win. They struck out, 21. The Braves struck out. Damn, that's too much to even count. The box score was like 15 deep. Reds struck out 16 times. So there was 37 combined strikeouts in that game. And that's what I like to watch, you know? I mean, it might not be a high-scoring affair, but geez, man, is it fun to watch two. I mean, the Braves had some kid come in who hadn't been in baseball since like 2017, and he was just throwing high heat, making the Reds chase. Don't know what the Reds are swinging at half the time, but they're chasing. They're striking him out, and I mean, phenomenal game. We're going to get another one here today. I believe it's in an hour and a half, so we'll see. I want the Reds to win because I want their guys to get a chance because I think their pitching staff has been phenomenal. They've earned this right to move on. Their hitting has just not come to life.
Yeah.
But the quicker they're over, the faster that Trevor Bauer's in Chicago. So, I mean, I'm not gonna complain if that's the case. I'm trying to find this stupid left on base yesterday, but it's not pulling up.
But
1 for 12 with runners in scoring position.
Oh, that's good. And then the one only got the guy from second to third.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. So yeah, I mean, the playoffs are going to be super fun. We got one divisional matchup confirmed: Rays Yankees. The Rays, I think, to the surprise of absolutely no one, took care of business in Toronto. The Rays are my pick to come out of the AL. I think the Rays, this season was built for Tampa Bay. The whole opener style, you only play the people in your division, like that. The whole thing is just tailor made for what the Rays do.
Yeah.
And I think if there's any team that plays small ball better than the Rays, if there is one, I haven't found it yet. They're the best at it. I mean, the Yankees had to play small ball last night against Cleveland and looked, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say looked lost, but boy, did they not look comfortable.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Cleveland last night, their 30-mile-an-hour winds going out to right center. And Gary Sanchez hits a bloop pop fly into right that ended up being a 2-run jack. So I don't know, man. A lot of crazy stuff. Hopefully the Yankees can make a run, but I think their season ends in San Diego against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Houston.
Hey, Carlos Correa is a cuck, dude.
Dude,
He's out here. His post game. What are you gonna say now? Bitch, we're gonna say you cheated your way to a World Series. Fuck you think we're gonna say?
I mean, you certainly did, sir. You certainly did.
Like, it's just I don't. Oh, sorry.
Is he the most unlikable person in baseball?
Yeah, him and Altuve.
Yeah, I mean, at least Altuve kind of keeps his mouth shut, though.
Yeah, Correa's been an absolute dick about it. It pisses me off. But I mean, congrats, you beat the Twins, who haven't won a playoff game since like 2004 or something, or 2000 or something. They've lost like 18 straight playoff games.
Yeah, I mean that's not good,
Yeah, I've heard that doesn't usually result in success.
No, it doesn't translate to a lot of championships, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, fuck, dude. Oh man, today's games. Man, the Padres got bad luck to end the year. Paddock came out and shit the bed in the first inning. Put them down big to the Cardinals. Cardinals hung on. They lost Mike Clevenger for this series, who they traded for at the deadline. Is it Dinelson Lamet? He's not pitching this series. That's their I would say he's their number one starter. Now they're really just down to Zach Davies. I don't even know who their 5 is. We'll see. I mean, I think they can still pull one out, but it's going to be tough. The Cardinals do have a tough lineup, as much as it pains me to say. And I don't even know who the Cardinals have pitching. I think they still have. Is Flaherty on their roster still?
I think so.
Because he did not pitch their game 1 yesterday. I mean, if he's your game 2 starter, you're in a very good spot.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think Dodgers wrap it up today.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you got Kershaw pitching tonight?
Probably, yeah. Who pitched last night, Bueller?
I think it was Bueller last night, yeah.
I watched 0 of that game. I had no interest in it.
Well, I mean, I would have watched some of it, but the Yankees game had 2 rain delays, so they kind of ran concurrently. So,
I think the Cubs win today and push it to 3. I just don't know if they win Game 3. I think the Cardinals take it today, and I think the White Sox take it.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know what's the other. I think Braves. Oh man, Sonny Gray versus whoever the Braves are throwing.
Well, whenever you put it like that,
I'm gonna take the Reds to push that one to 3. Reds, I think, can still win this because I mean their pitching is they're gonna have the upper hand in the next 2 pitching matchups.
And I mean, really, it's the same situation the Cubs will be in. If you get to tomorrow night, I mean, the only person who's going to be unavailable is Gray.
Yeah.
Bauer will probably give you an inning or 2 if you really needed him to tomorrow night.
Oh, he would do it tonight if he wanted. If you're tied in the extras again, he would go out there and he would throw it until he had to. So we've seen the Cubs do it. The Cubs have pitched to Lester, I think, in Game 7 of the World Series. Lester came in the bullpen, came out of the bullpen after starting earlier in the week. So,
and I mean, we've seen Chris Sale do it for the Red Sox. We've seen Bumgarner do it for the Giants.
yeah, just get your best pitcher out there. You're better off pitching your best guy than hoping that a bullpen guy gets it done just because it's his job.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be exciting. I mean, we haven't seen this before. The 18 playoff bracket is definitely exciting because there's so much going on. I mean, shit, yesterday there was games on from noon until 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we got that. We won't have as many games today. I think there's just 5 on today, but
yeah,
still plenty of ball. I think Reds are at noon Eastern, Cubs are at 2, and then I would assume it's White Sox at 5 and Padres at 4, and then Dodgers will be the late game. So
yeah,
plenty to watch.
A lot of good stuff.
We'll keep updated on that. Cubs are going to win the World Series.
And speaking of updated, we'll move here to football a little bit. Last week, there was a lot of chance for our standings to move, and it turned out that there was very little movement. What's the updated standings, Luke?
Yeah, so last week in picks, Keanan went 4-2 in the money line. He went 3-3 against the spread. He did hit his lock, which cool for you.
You was doubting me last week. You was like, "Oh, that's bold, man."
No, it was bold.
I knew it.
I went 3 for 3 on the money line, 3 for 3 on the spread. I missed my lock. I can't remember who I picked. Oh, I picked the Cardinals and they choked. But yeah, we're both now through 3 weeks. We're both 10-8 on the money line, and we're both 8-10 against the spread. Keanan is 2-1 on his lock, while I am 1-2. So this week we got 6 more games for you.
Yes, sir.
Tonight, maybe the worst game in football history. I will say I picked this game on Tuesday when the spread was much different. I'm still going to stick with it. But the Denver Broncos they're starting their number 3 quarterback, Brett Rypien.
Yeah.
Whatever. Or Rypien. I think it's just Rypien. I mean, they don't have anything. Hopefully Jerry Jeudy gets going. Rypien came into the end of the game last week against Tampa Bay and threw a pick. They're playing the Jets, who are dog shit. If they came out and said like, oh, if they lose this game, Adam Gase is fired. Just fire him then. What's he gonna prove then? If he wins this game, if he wins this one and then loses next week, you're gonna fire him anyway. Just fire him now. You're not saving anybody any time. You're not doing yourself any favors.
Yeah.
Fire him. He sucks. Get Sam Darnold the hell out of there. God, dude, they're wearing their all-black jerseys tonight, probably for his funeral. Dude, the Jets are so bad. Dude, you want to talk about how bad the Jets are? They got Xavier Rhodes Defensive Player of the Week. Xavier Rhodes isn't good anymore, man. I mean, jeez. But before I lose my shit on the Jets, dude, they're so bad. Their best player is a rookie left tackle.
Okay.
A rookie playing the second most important position in the game, who was a right tackle in college, is now protecting the blind side of a shit offense.
Oh, God.
Is your best player. And it's not like, oh, he's good. No, like, he's their best player by a mile. Like, dude, you've got Braxton Berrios, who's like your number 1 receiver. Okay. Like, dude, the Jets are ass.
No.
So, in case you guys were wondering, I did not pick the Jets tonight. I'm taking the Broncos -3 on the road, and so obviously I'm going to take them on the money line. I would make this my lock.
Wait, hold on.
Football.
Wait, hold on. Did you say -3 or +3?
I have the Broncos -3.
Oh, okay. Dang. Okay.
You've got the
All right.
Broncos +1.
Yeah. So, I see this a little different. I see this a little different than you. Broncos, I got them at +1. I think with Adam Gase, potentially having his job in line, I think there's going to be a little extra motivation coming out. Denver has a third-string quarterback. Denver, has a couple more weapons. I guess the game is being played in New York. I don't think any of that matters. Denver's gonna just beat. I don't want to say beat the brakes off of them because they couldn't. They can't beat anything except for the Jets tonight. I've got Denver +1 winning outright 21-14. The over/under for this game is 41. That's how you know both. That's how you know both teams are terrible. And I think they're so bad they're not even going to hit that. I think it's under 41. That game is going to be it's not going to be a defensive battle. It's going to be an unwatchable offensive clash between two teams that would probably lose to Clemson.
And guess who's gonna be watching? This guy. I think. Do I have anybody playing? Honestly, if I have anybody playing for fantasy, I'm watching that game, and I don't want to do it, but I'm gonna have to. Let's see here. I've got Jerry Jeudy. I will be tuning in for Thursday night football. Oh, it's gonna be bad, guys.
God.
And I got KJ Hamler. Shit, man. Didn't want to be here, but now I am. I mean, it's going to be arguably the ugliest game of the year.
Yeah.
We got a third-string quarterback against Adam Gase who couldn't, dude, I don't know how he still has a job. But, I mean, hey, I guess NFL people know more than I do. We picked a lot of the same games this week.
Yeah.
I believe we have 4 in common out of the 6. So let's jump.
You want to jump to Monday night?
Yeah, we can do Monday night.
All right, Monday night, Atlanta versus Green Bay. Atlanta is a 7.5-point dog. I am taking Atlanta to cover, but lose on the money line. 33-30, over 56.5. I think Green Bay. I think they're going to win this one, but I think Atlanta being 0-3, I think they're going to give Green Bay a fight. I think they're going to come out with a sense of urgency, put up points, but I think in the end, they're not going to blow a 20-point lead because they're not going to have a 20-point lead. Green Bay gets this one done. I think it's going to come down to a late field goal, 33-30, Green Bay wins.
Yeah. I mean, Green Bay's put up a bunch of points on anybody this year. I can only imagine what they're going to do to Atlanta. I've got Green Bay covering the 7.5, winning it outright. Covering the spread, winning the game. I don't know what the score I have it as. Let me check that for you real quick. If I can find my sheet here. Oh, it's not going to... I mean, it'll be a fun game. I think it'll be explosive. I've got it 43-30 Green Bay.
Okay.
So, and since I didn't do the last one, I've got 23-17 Denver tonight.
Okay.
But yeah, Green Bay, I think their offense, if they get Devontae Adams back, it's definitely over. But they saw enough from Alan Lazard last week in New Orleans, which I'll touch on here in a minute. Huge game in New Orleans. I think the Packers are they're playing like one of the best teams in football right now. And their defense just has to get like one stop to completely shift that game, and they're going to get that at some point. And I think they pull away. Atlanta's going to make a fight to where Green Bay has to keep trying to keep their foot on the gas, but I think it won't be enough. I think Green Bay takes it pretty handily. Sunday afternoon, we've got Baltimore. Again, is it Washington they're playing?
Yep.
I don't know who they're playing. I know that spread is 13 points, and I'm taking Baltimore all the way.
13-point favorites. I think they're going to cover. I think they're going to beat the shit out of them. Not out of any disrespect to Washington, but because Baltimore's coming off a home loss, a game I thought they had a chance to win. And I'll plug this on our channel. Yesterday, I did do the film review of Jackson versus Mahomes yesterday. But I think Baltimore, they can still run the ball. They should have been able to throw the ball in Kansas City last week. Mark Andrews had some crucial drops, cost him a lot of points. I don't think Washington poses anywhere near the threat that Kansas City does. Obviously, it sucks. I want Dwayne Haskins to succeed. I think he's still a very good quarterback. But he's got a tough schedule of defenses he's got to face. And I think if he goes out there and gets shellacked again and Baltimore beats them by a wide margin, I think he's done. I think they go to Alex Smith, and his time in Washington might be up. But that's just the way I think it's going to happen.
You think they'll go to who's their backup? I thought Alex Smith was their number 3.
They got Alex Smith and they've got Kyle Allen, which either way,
sure,
you're not really improving a lot, but I would still keep Haskins out there. I mean, he's a second-year quarterback with a bad offensive line, no receivers, and a young defense who hasn't reached their stride yet. But they're going to pull the trigger early, and, I mean, we'll see what happens. But, yeah, I think Baltimore just is too much to handle for them.
Yeah, so I agree with you as well. I've got Baltimore minus 13. I have them winning 37-21, over 51.5. You know, Monday night, they faced a very game Kansas City team. I saw a stat. It's been floating around this week. Lamar Jackson is like 22-1 against teams not named Kansas City.
Yeah.
And Washington isn't named Kansas City.
That is true.
It is pretty crazy. No, I think that coming off a Monday Night Football loss where Jackson was held to 115 yards passing, absolutely got thoroughly dominated by Mahomes. I think this is going to, I don't want to say a statement game, but I think they're going to come out and try to make it a statement game. I think that they're going to, I think this could be a game where they put up 21 in the first quarter. I think they come out just guns a-blazing. I think you're going to see the best out of Lamar Jackson. I think you're going to see everything he has to offer, whether it be the deep ball, whether it be the 30-yard rushes with his feet, his playmaking ability. We're going to see it all on display. I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair. I think that Baltimore is going to win this one very comfortably. Like I said, give me to cover minus 13, 37-21.
Yep. My score, I've got that one 31-14. So
okay,
not a huge cover, but I mean, covering is covering. You got to take it. So
it's true. That's true.
We also did the Seattle versus Miami game.
Yep.
Cross country. It's as far as you're gonna have to travel in the NFL, probably in the country.
Yeah.
Seattle. It was 6.5 when I got it. I don't know what you got it at.
I got it 6.5 too.
But yeah, Seattle on the road at Miami. Miami's been up and down. I mean, they just beat the brakes off of Jacksonville last Thursday. Can you trust it? Probably not. I've got Seattle covering 38-21. Russell Wilson's going to continue to earn that MVP. He's already I think he's at 14 touchdown passes in 3 games.
Yeah.
Phenomenal performance so far. He's only playing an easier opponent than he has in the last few. I mean, he has been lucky. He's played the Atlanta defense. He's played Dallas, who doesn't have any safeties. And he's got, I can't remember who his second game was against. New England. So, I mean, he's going to put up the yards and the points against Miami. I just don't think Miami can put the points up back on him. Should be an easy one for Seattle. That is not my lock of the week, actually. I thought it was, but it is not. So, I'll say
that. Yeah, so this is my lock of the week. I have Seattle minus 6.5, 31-17, under 53. I think that they're going to come out, and I think the Seahawks are going to look very impressive. They're 3-0 this year?
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll, they're running out of opportunities to win championships, right? I mean, their core group of guys are getting much older. They do have some young pieces like Metcalf, but Wilson isn't. This might be his one of his better opportunities to win another championship. And Carroll's like in his 70s, so he doesn't. Who knows how many more years he has left.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're going to come out. I think, this could be a big week. I don't know. I think Arizona is playing. They're playing someone tougher. That's why I didn't pick them at all this week. Spoiler alert.
Who do they play?
Arizona plays.
They play the Panthers on the road.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, well. Okay, so that's a little easier than I thought. No, I think they got, going 4-0 in that division. I mean, that would give them what? Would that give them a 2? Are the Niners 2-1?
Niners are 2-1. Cardinals are 2-1, and the Rams are 2-1.
Okay, well, so I guess really they need to win this to stay clear in that division then. Yeah, I think they're going to come out. Offense is going to look good. Defense is going to look pretty solid. I don't think Miami is going to score enough points to get this to the over. Seattle, like I said, this is my lock. I think Seattle looks good. The fact that they're not even getting a touchdown here, I think is a little ridiculous. I mean, Miami can, that they can move the ball, but the problem is that I think they're going to have trouble turning 3 into 7. Whereas I don't think Seattle's going to have any difficulty doing that. So that's my lock of the week. Seattle's -6.5.
I like it. That was a close one for me. I got to figure out what's. I'll save my lock. But what was your fifth one?
My fifth one, Chicago +2.5 at. I want to say they're at Indianapolis this week.
Yeah. No, it's in Chicago, I believe.
Oh, it's in Chicago? Okay.
Yeah, in Chicago.
All right. In Chicago, they face Indianapolis. Indianapolis, 2.5-point favorites. Big Dick Nick Foles is back. And all he does is win, baby.
That ain't no lie.
And honestly, yeah, I think they're 3-0. I think having Foles in there, I think they're going to be a little bit more rejuvenated. I think there's going to be a little bit more energy coming out of that Chicago side. Indianapolis, they beat a bad New York team last week, and
that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, I don't trust them to do much against a Chicago team that's looked very game so far this year. They've been able to come back from large deficits. They've got a Super Bowl winning quarterback at the helm now. Yeah, give me Chicago +2.5. I think they win this one outright. 26-23, hitting the over 43.
All right. I didn't want to pick that game because I don't trust either team at all.
Yeah.
My next one, I picked the Saints -4. I think they're on the road in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Saints on the road in Detroit. Might have Michael Thomas back, but they also might be losing Marshawn Lattimore. Lions, their defense is bad. The Saints offense, I still think, can score. I think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I've got it 34-21 Saints. I think the Saints, if they just keep... Oh, my God, you're in for a treat, guys. If you feed Alvin Kamara, you're going to do well. If you take his touches and give them to Taysom Hill, you're going to have problems, okay? Sunday night, or Monday night, I can't remember which night they played. Sunday night. Kamara's rolling. He's got 15 catches, 170 yards, a couple touchdowns. You're down by a score in the middle of the fourth quarter. You're getting late, and you put the ball in Taysom Hill's hands. And I'll be damned if the best player in the NFL fumbled that ball and they lost the game. You get a 4th down stop at midfield, and you turn around and you fumble right back because your third-string quarterback is making $21 million to carry the ball 4 times a game, fumbled the ball. Hey, man. Hey, Sean Payton, you're a really smart dude. Don't do that again, huh? Awesome.
Oh man, take some credit. Shouts out to him. Yeah, it doesn't look great for them.
The
If they
greatest
keep,
rivalry in sports, ladies and gentlemen, Luke Parrish versus Taysom Hill. Oh my gosh.
but yeah, we've got. I mean, I just don't think. I don't think the Saints can afford to lose again. They're already 1-2. They're down in that division, tied with the Panthers, who nobody saw coming.
Yeah.
1-2. Whew. But yeah, give me the Saints.
Now, I will say, New Orleans has a little bit of an advantage, though, because they do have the win over Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay's 2-1 in that division. So,
like half a game back.
yeah. So, I mean, that 1-2 isn't as bad as the Panthers 1-2, and it's with Atlanta 3 that helps them out a bit. So, really, I mean, they're not in as bad of a position as what it seems like, but they really do need to win this game, though. So I like that pick.
All right, and
then my last one, Sunday Night Football. This one fucking pains me to say. San Francisco -7 on the road against Philadelphia. All right, before I even get into this, Philadelphia, what the hell are we doing here? What in the hell are we doing here? We're 7.5-point favorites last week at home against Cincinnati. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Cincinnati, but Cincinnati won the number 1 pick last year. Do you know how you get the number 1 pick?
By being really good at football.
No, it's by being really good at being bad at football. You have to actually be the best at being bad at football to get the number 1 pick. Cincinnati couldn't win a skill crane, let alone a football game last year, and yet here they are making the Eagles made them look like world beaters. What the hell is going on in Philly? So I never thought a matchup of 0-2 teams would be so frustrating. But I'm sitting there watching that game on Sunday, and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the time where the Eagles we finally turn it around. This is going to be the one. Nope. How about this? We have to score a touchdown in the final minute to get it to overtime, and then once we get it to overtime, all right, so we'll punt back and forth. All right, so at the end of the game, we're gonna punt the ball with 15 seconds left to ensure a tie. A tie.
Well, they were gonna kick the field goal, and they took 2 penalties. Brutal.
0-2-1. Okay. You can't even be excited that they didn't lose last week because they didn't win. They didn't beat a Cincinnati team that. Oh my gosh.
I would argue that this is. I mean, if the Eagles want to have any shot of being respected this year, that this is a must-win because they've got San Francisco followed by Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and then the Giants, and then the Cowboys. That's 1 win in 5 games if they don't win. Not great.
Yeah, so let me just sit here and just stew for a second. If you look at the records in that division, is Dallas 2-1 or 1-2?
1-2.
All right, so they're 1-2. Washington's 1-2. I guess technically they're not the worst team in that division, being a half game over the Giants. But that win column, they're still the same. Philadelphia, oh my God, they haven't played a division. I guess they did. They lost to Washington. San Francisco -7. I've got them winning 28-20 on Sunday night, over 46. I think San Francisco is just going to walk into Lincoln Financial and just they're going to be burning shit in Philly on Sunday night. Just I mean,
does Jalen Hurts start next week? I would start him this week. Carson Wentz has been abysmal through 3 games.
All right, so that's interesting because they put Jalen Hurts in the game last week and then pulled him.
Yeah.
That leash you gave him was about as long as a rubber band before it snapped. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, if you're going to put the guy in the game, losing to a Cincinnati team who, like I said earlier, isn't good. Like, if you're going to pull him then, why would you put him in against the San Francisco team that is significantly better? And that's putting it very lightly. Carson Wentz, I defended him for a long time. I don't know if I can defend him anymore.
Welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the Kirk Cousins club.
So, yeah, this one's a wrap. San Francisco -7. If they win by 20, I won't be surprised. If midway through the third they're talking about is Doug Peterson's job on the line, I won't be shocked. Just what a lost cause for this year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel your pain. Vikings in the same boat. I mean, damn, Justin Jefferson had 175 yards and a touchdown in his first start as a rookie. Didn't get the ball after that touchdown. They're like, well, you know what? We're good. We're good on that. Yeah, dude, Philly, I don't know, man. I don't trust Carson Wentz.
Nope.
It's just, man, Nick Foles, man, should have kept him. All right, I'm going to keep it in the NFC East. My lock of the week, I got to figure out who this team plays. Yeah, my lock of the week, Dallas at home against the Browns, -4.5. Dallas can put up points. Obviously, Dak Prescott can do whatever he needs to do to win games. They're 1-2, not his fault. Not really the offense's fault. Defense has been atrocious. Well, guess what? You're playing the Browns, whose offense can't get going. Don't really trust Baker on the deep throw. Your safeties are going to be fine. They can probably still go try to get Earl Thomas or Eric Reed. Man, dude, I've got Dallas winning this one. Where's my score? 30-24. So not a huge cover.
Sure.
It's still my lock of the week. I mean, I don't trust the Browns, even though they're 2-1. They're above 500 for the first time in what feels like forever. I think the Cowboys just try to get a statement win to prove that they're the best team in the shittiest division in football. I will say I saw this yesterday, going back to the Browns and the Indians, or Browns and the Indians, the Browns and the Bengals. I don't know where the Indians came from. The last 4 number 1 overall draft picks have a tie before they have a win. Dating back to Myles Garrett, 0-16 his rookie year. And then Baker Mayfield, they tied their first year. And then Burrow got the tie last week with Philly, and Kyler Murray's first ever. I think he tied Detroit last year. So,
man,
it's a weird stat, but, I mean, hey, stats are stats, man. But, yeah, I just don't trust the Browns still. I trust Dak to put up enough points to keep them in the game, probably to put them away late. They can always feed Zeke if they need to run the clock out. Should be an easy win for them. I'll probably regret it here by the end of the week. But this week's games aren't that exciting. I don't even want to watch the Vikings game. 2 0-3 shithead teams. I don't even know if they're going to play yet. We have no idea what to expect from them going forward. They played Tennessee last week. Tennessee's game for week 4 is now postponed until later in the season. They had another positive test today. It's like their 5th one this week of players.
Vikings played them, haven't had any positive tests, but that's still up in the air. We still have to wait to get tests back. Facilities are shut down. Honestly, just make the Vikings forfeit and take another loss. That's fine by me. Go ahead and get that number one pick wrapped up. But
Well,
man,
I mean,
such a bad year.
I guess they could try to move that game to Tuesday, but man, that's rough.
Yeah, not looking good. The Vikings just need to figure out what they're going to do because Mike Zimmer, which actually, I'll bring that up real quick. Zimmer, him and general manager, oh man, that was a, I can't talk. General manager Rick Spielman, they got into it this week. Spielman told media what Zimmer had been telling the guys about, they've got to make sure that they're cleaning some things up. Zimmer then comes out and says, I don't want my GM telling the media what I'm telling my guys. Not a great relationship to have, I would assume. Things are falling apart quickly. Dalvin Cook just ran for like 181 yards last week. They asked Zimmer about it after the game, how they got him going, and he said, well, I wish he didn't fumble the ball in the first quarter. Hey, dude. Maybe don't let your defense blow another double-digit second-half lead. Maybe don't let Ryan Tannehill throw it to Khalif Raymond, who's a special teamer. Their number one receiver's out, so they put their punt returner in at wide receiver, and he torched you twice for a deep ball. Hey, maybe clean that up. Maybe don't set your career low or career high in yards allowed through 3 games. Highest, not even close to the highest you've given up since 1985.
Yeah.
Maybe take some accountability for saying, hey, this defense is not going to be bad. I know we've got a lot of young guys, but we're gonna come out there and we're gonna be the same defense we've always been, and then go give up 31 points to the Titans, 43 to the Packers, and 25 to Indianapolis, who just controlled the clock the entire game. Zimmer, I've defended Zimmer thinking he was a good coach. I mean, he took Case Keenum to the playoffs, deep to the playoffs. He took them last year to New Orleans, got them and went in the wild card round. He came out and just shit the bed this year and will not take any accountability. I don't see him coming back next year. I don't know if he makes it through the season, especially if they keep losing. His relationship with the front office seems kind of muddied at the moment. Offense can't get going. He looked good last week, but then they stopped throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson. Dalvin Cook was doing well. He fumbled because his own fullback was laying on the ground and knocked the ball out of his hand. The Vikings are a dumpster fire right now. They lost by a point. It feels like they got their ass kicked. The Titans missed 5 kicks in the first 2 games of the season and then came out here and kicked 6 for 6 and hit a game winner on them. They made 8 kicks in 2019. They made 6 in one game yesterday or on Sunday. Viking, no matter what they do, it's not going to get better. They're not going to get over this hump. Best they're going to do right now is go 9-7 and get a middle of the round pick. Don't do that. Tank the season. We can't afford to sit there and keep getting the same middle picks. And you already don't have a second round pick because you traded that for Yannick Ngakoue, who's been your only bright spot. He's gotten 2 strip sacks in 2 weeks. Sell this season. Trade guys at the deadline if you have to. Try to recoup some extra picks, but you can't go into the draft with 15 draft picks again because clearly your rookies aren't going to make an impact. Your team's built. You can win games right now, but if you're out there, you're starting 9 rookies on defense and your offensive line is atrocious. It's absolute dog shit. You've got 2 guards who can't. They're not even getting off the ball. The ball snapped. They're sitting there just staring at nothing. They're getting beat. Kirk Cousins is dying back there, which maybe he's going to play well enough to get traded. Probably not. It's not a good look for them right now. The future doesn't look great. A lot of people are like, well, you can still win games. Sure, but what's winning 6 games going to do for you? Well, yeah, I get that a number 1 draft pick isn't guaranteed. It's not like Baker Mayfield hasn't been a success. Trevor Lawrence, no matter where he goes, team. Honestly, you put him on the Jets right now, you can keep Adam Gase. You can trade every single receiver on that team, and they're going to be a better team right now than they are with Sam Darnold. And that's not because Sam Darnold's bad. That's because Trevor Lawrence is this good. If you can get him, you got to go get him, man. I don't care what it takes. Get him. Get him in the building. I don't care if you lose 16 games this season. You're still better than the stupid ass the Browns team. You're better than that Lions team that went 0-16. We know it. You can obviously compete. It's worth it though. I just, man, I don't know. The season's gonna suck. They've already dealt with too much. They can't stay healthy. They got a shit schedule coming up. Zimmer's pissing me off. Kirk Cousins is on and off. Dalvin Cook, it's only a matter of time before he loses 3 or 4 games with an injury. Like, let's just wrap it up. Let's just cut the middleman. Let's just get out of here. Let's get to April. Let's get us a draft pick. It's just running next year, man. I can't.
I mean, how upset are you going to be whenever the Vikings go 1-15 and they get the second overall pick because Philadelphia went 0-15-1? I mean, that's gonna.
Does Philly take a quarterback, or do they take the left tackle because they don't have offensive line? They got Jalen Hurts early last year.
Well, I mean, you could trade Hurts for, I'm sure, a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper and a bag of Doritos, and that would be pretty valuable. So, I don't know, man. They're not going to get the number 1 pick. They're probably going to get, like the 7th or 8th overall. I don't know. It depresses me even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Getting off football, I know there's one more thing you want to talk about before we get off this week. How about your boy Victor Oladipo? You thought we forgot. No. We saving the best for last. I know you got to get on. I know you want to get into this.
So, all right. I don't like bashing guys because they won out, right? I was never like. I never had any bad feelings towards Paul George for wanting to leave Indiana, because I understood. I mean, the front office didn't do enough to give him enough pieces. They had a good team. They went to Eastern Conference Finals in 2014. He wanted out. They got a good return for him. They got Victor Oladipo. They got Domantas Sabonis. Fast forward 2 years, Victor Oladipo gets hurt right before a big contract year. He misses time. He wants all this money. He wants a max contract. Pacers don't want to give him that, and rightfully so, because, I mean, he hasn't been the same since injury. It's hard to tell if he was ever a superstar or if he was just a guy who had a good year. I think he was a superstar. I think he was on the cusp of being one of the best players in the NBA. Unfortunate injury at the time it happened. He goes on Instagram Live with Fat Joe in the year 2020. I don't know why. Lean back. I don't know why this is a thing, but they get talking about him wanting to be an NBA legend. And he basically says, I don't care about the money, which is not true. He said he wants a big money deal or whatever. He says he wants to be known for winning. He wants to get the accolades. He wants to be perceived as one of the best individual players to ever do it, which is fine. That's right. I mean, everybody wants to be. In order to win big awards, you've got to have success, right? You've got you're not going to win MVP on a team who went 10-72. So
I mean, it'd be hard.
It would be hard. So I get what he's saying, and I don't have a problem with him saying anything that he said. Obviously, fans are going to say, well, that means he wants out of Indiana, and it probably does. He probably does wish to be traded to somebody who can compete. There's rumors that he could go to Brooklyn right now, who's obviously set up for a big future. He could go to Minnesota, who's got the number 1 pick. There's Dallas is in the cards. Miami's in the cards.
New York, baby. New York.
New York, they're not in the cards. They got nothing to offer. It's and having to cover all this stuff for the Pacers with writing and stuff. Everybody on Facebook is saying, "Oh, well, the Pacers aren't going to trade Victor Oladipo. There's no reason to trade him. There's no reason to think he wants traded." Then he comes out and says what he says. There's reports coming out from the Athletic saying that he wants to move on from Indiana, and then everybody's like, "Well, that's not true." No, dude, it happened with Paul George. It's happening again. It happened with Jermaine O'Neal. They're gonna trade their guys, and they're gonna try to rebuild. They're not set right now to retool. They just don't have enough young pieces. They've got to just rebuild all from the start. Oladipo's probably gone. Miles Turner might be gone. I've heard he's in the same boat with Vic. He wants out. And if they want out, that's fine. I'm not gonna be like, oh, if they want out, then trade them. I don't want their trash ass on the team. If they want out, then you've got to trade them. You don't want to keep an unhappy player in the organization.
Sure.
You got to get as much for them as you can before things get ugly and you lose any sort of value that you do have in a trade package. What are they going to get for Oladipo? I have no idea. My hope is that they get Karis LeVert, or maybe like a Tim Hardaway Jr. and a pick, because obviously that's not it's a downgrade. But
oh my God, you want Tim Hardaway Jr.?
If you're trading him to Dallas, I don't know what else you're going to get. You're not getting Porzingis and Doncic. You're not going to get Seth Curry. You're getting a first pick, and you're getting maybe Tim Hardaway. You trade him to they get Karis LeVert, but trading trade-ups tricky, so they're going to try to mix some things up to make money work. You could trade him to Minnesota. I don't think you're going to get the number one pick, though. You might get Jarrett Culver and another young like James Johnson to fill out the cap. You could package him and Miles Turner and go to Washington and try to get Bradley Beal. You could trade him to Miami for – you're not getting Tyler Hero. You're not going to get any other stars. You might be able to get Duncan Robinson and Kendrick Nunn and some sort of cap filler. It's not a good look for them, man. And they've got to figure it out quick because the season's just around the corner. The NBA draft is coming up. They don't have a first-round pick because they traded that for Malcolm Brogdon. That experiment blew up in their face. Their whole idea was we're going to have Brogdon and Oladipo on the backcourt. Well, now they're broken up, and you don't have a first-round pick. It's a mess. All respect to Oladipo if he wants out. If you want to go win somewhere else, go win somewhere else. It'll be tough because the NBA is like that. We've seen it. Paul George couldn't win in L.A. He couldn't win in Oklahoma City. We'll see what happens, but the Pacers are about to be – they're in for a treat. They don't have a head coach still. We don't even know what their team's going to look like in 2 weeks. So we don't know what their coaches are going to want to do. There's rumors that Oladipo was high on Nate McMillan. Maybe you should trade him because basketball IQ's got to be in the trash at that point. But yeah, things aren't looking great here in Indiana. They haven't had success in basketball for a while now. More of the same old shit as always. I'll keep you guys posted, but I'll be writing a shit ton about what to expect, what they can get for Oladipo, what they can get for Miles Turner. Do they trade Sabonis? Do they trade Aaron Holiday, Doug McDermott, TJ Leaf, who's got no trade value? Kyle Korver was traded for like a fax machine or something in 2003. TJ Leaf couldn't even imagine getting that value. Dude could get a broken toaster, maybe. And that's only because nobody used toasters anymore. Oh man, dude, it's such a bad Pacers fan, but it's not going to get better either. So might as well.
So next week we'll be back. We'll recap our picks from this week. We will also probably briefly talk about the NBA season being wrapped up, since we all fully expect the season to be over by that point. We'll talk about baseball and what the AL and NLDSs look like. Maybe look ahead to the championship series, and we will cover anything else that's interesting. But that's all I got this week. Luke, what do you got?
Yeah, that's about all I got. I try not to rant too much on here, but hey, where else am I going to do it,
Yeah,
Twitter only
like
gives me so many characters.
I like it.
Dude, you can follow me on Twitter today if you want to hear me. I will incessantly bitch about this Cubs game all day, even if I'm going to find a way to make it seem like they're not. Yeah. Pacers, I'll be posting shit about that. Vikings don't even want to get me started, so if you don't want to hear that, don't follow me. I'm just ready for some baseball. We got like an hour, about 45 minutes until first pitch, so get this up to you guys. You guys can listen. Go watch my video about the Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes breakdown. Yeah, man. I want to
Yeah.
go golf. I want to go golf sometime, but it's getting cold outside now. So
Yeah.
now all my anger is just building up inside. Uh,
Oh, goodness.
I mean, I'll play some Madden, I guess, today. I bought Madden. That was a waste of my time. PS5 comes out in 2 weeks. That's about all I got going for me. Or not 2 weeks, 2 months. A month and a half, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
There's like nothing going well for us over here. So, I mean, outside of that Adesanya fight, what a shitty week for me in terms of betting. I threw away about $150 in bets this week.
Rough.
I guess I'll go ahead and go make some now since I got nothing else to do today. So, yeah, we'll be back next week to shit the bed on some picks again. Hopefully, I take the lead back. But yeah, what a day.
We'll see you next week, guys. Y'all take it easy now.
Yes, sir. Peace out, guys.